Welcome back, everybody. Another episode of the AIB Show.
Kaboom!
And then, all right, moving on. We're back.
Better sound, better quality.
Exactly. So we're actually working in the same location today.
Studio.
Correct. And obviously this will be up on all the mediums, including the YouTubes and so on and so forth. Also the Insta. We still have to do a Vine, by the way. Or not a Vine. Good Lord, how old am I? Oh, yeah. What I mean to say? Oh, yeah, a TikTok.
TikTok.
Yeah, so.
This guy, no joke, he's still trying to get, like, the handle on Instagram. Like, he does things where he posts a story. I don't even know where to start here.
Brethren, no, I hit the @ and then, whatever comes up, I roll with it. Like,
yeah.
I mean, what are you supposed to be doing here?
I don't know.
So obviously, I don't run anything on the social sphere. Personally, I don't care about the social sphere, which is why I don't run anything there, because I don't know what's going on. And I legit don't know what's going on. Like, I don't know, have a TikTok. It's a handle on TikTok too, right?
Yes.
It's just a general handle?
Yes.
Twitter, whatever it is.
Yep.
All right. So I have the handles, which is simple. Actually, I don't even have, what is our TikTok handle?
You don't have a handle.
I don't have a handle on TikTok, but I got a handle on the Insta and the Twitter.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, it's me, Amit.
That's underscore.
Underscore it's me?
Yeah. So obviously you don't know either.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, all right. What?
Wow.
No, there's some technologies I don't need to know about.
Yeah, okay.
I think. I know the TV technologies. You don't know about all this stuff. I'm on the HBO Maxes and all the good stuff there.
You use my HBO Max.
Don't say that in the public sphere, guy. This is on the internet, man. I do not do that. I have my own login. Can't be putting this out there on the sphere. What's wrong with you, man? Crazy. Ridiculous.
First of all, you're trying to justify your knowledge of technology by saying you know how to watch a show?
No, on the myriad of apps available. That's different.
Yeah. I'm trying to get this dude on Clubhouse. So if anybody's on Clubhouse,
that's what it was.
We want to host some rooms on Clubhouse and talk. It's a whole other thing with this guy.
I mean, I have the Clubhouse.
I'm trying to teach him just how to do his bio, and it's.
No, didn't you tell him what to cut and paste?
Yeah.
Yes, you wrote it. All right, hold up. I would speculate that the great majority of you guys listening are not on the Clubhouse. And is it the Clubhouse?
The Clubhouse.
Right. It's like the Facebook. Man, I'm getting old quickly. Yeah, but I'm not on Clubhouse. I don't get Clubhouse. I don't know why I should be on Clubhouse. And I'm of the belief that it is a matter of time before Twitter or whatever creates their own Clubhouse version if they haven't already.
You mean like how Google created their own Facebook and it failed miserably?
No. Well, okay, there's that, but then there's also the other side of things where you have things like Vine, and then Snap comes around and Vine, didn't Twitter buy Vine and that went away pretty quickly?
Well, buying is a different thing.
No, but then it went away quickly because they bought it to have technology and nobody wanted it, meaning it didn't do enough. And then
right, because all they did were those quick stories, which
correct.
Instagram did and Snap did.
That's my point.
But that was a little niche thing. Clubhouse is a whole myriad.
What? Trying to say myriad? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah,
myriad
I was
things?
trying to go myriad and mirage was coming out. I got caught up in the air. Yeah, it's a whole myriad of functions and features and capabilities. And now with the giving aspect, you can pay on Clubhouse now too, people. So from the fundraisings to charity to even it's instead of likes, here's what the people are doing. Instead of liking something,
the masses,
there's micropayments. You may give somebody a little bit of money because perhaps they gave you advice on how to better yourself health-wise or your business. So you shoot them $3, $5, $10, whatever it is. It's a whole fascinating
micropayment.
Yes, that's what I said.
No, I know. I'm just saying it's a weird it's just a payment. Why the F is it called a micropayment?
I guess because of the minuscule.
But it could be whatever denomination you want to give, yeah? Is it all in USD?
Yes.
No, I didn't look crypto. I don't know if it's friggin' Ethereum that I'm paying this guy with or whatever.
Speaking of crypto, this guy, how old is Amit? He's still trying to figure out.
I'm in the crypto sphere. I just don't have the one that you were talking about.
True. But then 5 minutes ago you were talking about
I just didn't want to download another app, man. Like, how many apps do I need?
Yeah, but you see, the thing is, if you're really in the crypto sphere,
I'm not really in the crypto sphere.
You don't really talk about apps. You got to have your MetaMask wallet and these other things that you're the.
Richard, you've been in this for like 2 days, guy. How long you been in this space,
No,
man? This guy talking about all this skills that you have that you've amassed via Clubhouse. Is that where you learned all this
Coming
stuff?
up on my second fortnight. That'd be 28 days.
I'm no joke. I'm thinking about. I was like, what the f is a fortnight? I haven't used that word in forever.
Yeah.
But on the real, you've been in this. Okay, you've been in it for a month now.
Yeah, and by in it,
Yeah, this guy's invested like lunch money, legit lunch money in there.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So now you have lunch money and a beverage.
Yes.
All right. So yeah, talking to me about stuff. But either way,
Yeah, he's trying to figure out NFTs, non-fungible tokens.
No. Okay. I want to say we talked about this to some level. Well, we have.
No, we haven't released that episode yet.
Oh, scratch that. So brand new.
This is going to go backwards because this one is coming out before the one we talked.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, either way, man, I understand the concept. I still don't know why anybody would pay for any of it. That's all I'm saying. I understand the concept behind it. Like, okay, there's a podcast that came out this morning that I shared with Dominic that was on the Daily, which is the New York Times podcast. And they were talking about how one of the dudes, like a writer in the New York Times, he had a graphic, like an image made of the article he wrote on NFTs. And that graphic or image or whatever is selling for like $100,000 and some $1,000, which is
700 and some thousand.
My bad.
So
even more ridiculous.
yeah, so to back it up on NFTs, essentially, to break it down simply, kind of like the deed or the certificate of origin for an artwork, for example, or a tweet or something that you own personally, that you mint and digitize.
No, I get that. It's just it's me signing it saying it's my original thing.
Crazy money because it's like collectorship in general. It's about emotion, right? Your emotional attachment.
If you feel that this New York Times article warrants $700,000 of your hard-earned money,
it's about
you're a horrible person.
Status and about bragging rights.
You're a horrible person.
And for this, it was the first one by the New York Times. So there are people thinking, well, this is the very first one, so maybe there's value I can do. So that's what it is.
If you
All right, move on. Amit is old.
Yeah,
Very
okay.
old.
Hashtag Amit's old.
Hashtag Amit's old.
Yes. Still in better physical shape than Dominic, though. Just saying.
Still can't beat me in a race.
Still never tried. Well, actually, I can't run anymore. We proved
What do you mean
that.
you never tried?
Not tried.
Our
To it. And
entire
what year
lives,
was
you've
this?
never
What
beat
year
me.
was this?
I mean, the last one is probably.
I mean, was it even in the 2000s? It was 2000s.
You were still in good shape, and I was not. So
No,
what's the
by
difference?
deep, brethren, you take one stride to like three of mine.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, here we go.
All right. Either way.
Never beat me in a race.
Valid. All right, fine.
What next? We had something here.
You have a bunch of stuff on that piece of paper. Go for it.
No, but there was something I forgot.
You didn't write it down on your notepad there, guy?
I did, but it's not there. I don't know what happened to it.
It's got to be there. You want to talk about, you want to get heavy?
On a sadder, more effed up note.
All right.
For those of you who saw what's going on in Minnesota again, you know, that we've got the trial of Derek Chauvin, the police officer.
Ex-police officer.
True. One of the four. Did all four get fired?
I don't know.
Or he got fired. The four officers involved with the
It's
death.
funny, those other three are kind of just skating. I'm not gonna.
No, they're scheduled for August, I believe.
Oh, gotcha. Because I'm like, man, these guys kind of just riding it out.
The four officers involved in and I'll say murder, not just death, the murder of George Floyd.
Good thing you didn't hit the mute button on that one. Thanks.
The one officer who was kneeling on him the entire time and physically killed him, his trial has been going on. And, you know, if you listen to some of the testimonies and things of that nature, I don't see how he gets off. And if he does, I mean, shit's going to burn, and I completely understand it. Now, simultaneously in Minnesota, we just had the killing of a gentleman named Daunte Wright. Young guy, 20 years old, he was a father, actually. And
I mean, not that should increase or diminish.
It should not increase or diminish, yeah. Except it actually probably increases the sadness.
Why? Oh.
Because now a child has lost her. So yeah, it's a little more. Yeah, but I guess the saddest thing is the death.
Because people do that, by the way. You see all these movies, goes, oh, but I have a kid. I don't have a kid. I still don't want to die.
Yeah.
I mean, but continue, sorry.
True, but it increases the sadness.
Yes, I'm with you there. Sorry, I'm with you. Okay.
So he was pulled over, evidently, and I don't know if this is how accurate this is, something with his dashboard and the air freshener, which is just ridiculous to me. And then also I've heard that he had a warrant out, which is true.
But you heard the warrants for.
I heard the warrant was for when he was younger.
Yeah.
He got busted for a joint.
Correct. And the cost was
cost was like $200 or $180.
Correct. It was a combination of $80 some and 90
a fine
whatever.
and court fees.
Correct.
He never paid it.
Yep.
So there wound up being a warrant for his arrest. Which America, stop this shit. It's asinine. Anyway, he was pulled over and then they were arresting him. And he was being handcuffed. And then he resisted arrest and went back in the car.
Correct.
And I believe he had a passenger in the car too.
His girlfriend, I believe.
Yeah. Went back in the car and was attempting to drive off.
Yes.
And an officer shot him.
Yes.
Claims she meant to use a taser. She yelled taser.
Correct.
Claims she meant to use the taser. Now, again, these are things I've heard. I have not verified this. I've heard she's been on the force 26 years. Okay. Yeah. And
she's now on administrative leave.
She shot him, and I guess he died shortly thereafter.
Yeah, she shot him in the chest.
I don't know how this plays out, where this plays out, but I mean, this just always seems to happen here.
Well, there's a bunch now.
Wait, sorry. You're gonna get the people that say, "Don't resist arrest."
Correct.
Okay, don't resist arrest. Death.
It's not the consequence of resisting arrest.
So we get that,
Well, and there's a couple of things too. So as it relates to the Chauvin case you brought up earlier, the judge I think the defense had asked the judge to sequester the jury so that they wouldn't be subject to what's going on in Minnesota currently, and the judge said no.
Did not know that.
Yeah, the judge said nope.
So what does that mean exactly? Like no TV and news?
In essence, yeah, that was a plan. I mean, because you're not supposed to have any additional information on the case. You're not supposed to talk about the case, but you're not sequestered. Like for OJ and whatever, they were sequestered because that was something that you literally couldn't get away from. Now, obviously, they weren't planning for something like this to happen, nor should they, obviously. But so there's a couple of things, right? One is they're going to say, well, he jumped in the car, therefore they were fearful for their lives because he could have had a gun a weapon in the car, which he didn't. That's one thing. Two is this. I mean, I'm assuming you can get like a warrant for this. I'm assuming, and I don't know this. I don't know how much detail you get. You just see warrant, and how the hell would you know? You're not a cop either. Like, what information do they have to know the warrant's outstanding? It's like, hey, there's got a warrant related to X. Like, shouldn't that be more significant? Like, if I go to a guy trying to arrest a guy and I go, hey, this dude's got a warrant out for triple murder, I'm gonna be a little scared. Versus, hey, this dude's got a warrant out for weed back in blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm not going to be as aggressive. You feel me? Like, wouldn't that information, not that I don't know if they have it or don't. I just think that would be good information to have.
I think they have it. I guess the officers would say, it doesn't matter. Somebody could be violent or do something.
Yeah, but if I tell you this dude's out for murder and I tell you this dude's out for weed, you'd probably go with the thing a little differently.
Here's where it starts, though. It's
I do what you did. Continue. My bad.
Here's where it starts is the war on drugs in the criminal justice system. And not as on a macro level, not as it disproportionately affects people of color and poor people, but just in general, the fact that we got to this point where because when he was a teenager. I don't know if he was closer to his age he's 20. He was 20. I don't know if he's closer to 20 or like much younger, but regardless, the fact that that age is leading to somebody getting arrested in a vacuum. Let's say he was lucky enough to live during this. The fact that he's even getting arrested and going to jail and just because of
and then additional court costs
to
tack on to what the previous situation was, etc. Yeah, no, this was.
I saw on a complete wild tangent. I saw someone post today. It's interesting how police officers are, arresting criminals, people who deserve it, and just in general going after society. Sometimes they deserve it, sometimes they don't. But how often do we see them policing each other?
Well, that's the situation, right? You're part of the fraternity. You don't.
Right. So then it becomes, because people are always surprised, often, based on what happened to me. Episode 5, check it out. And in case you don't go check it out, I was beat up, assaulted by the Miami Beach police in a racially motivated incident. And people are surprised that I don't have a bias towards police or, I think
People listening to this or people who know
People
you?
in general.
I'm just kidding.
People in general. I don't think justice and, appreciating police or supporting police should be mutually exclusive concepts. So the officers aren't policing themselves, though. It's just mind-boggling. So really, how good are those that we consider good cops? Or we always say there's good cops and bad cops, but if that's a very
But that's like I do it again. But you're talking about cops specifically. But this is like any social group that you belong to.
But this is the one social group there can be no problems. It doesn't matter if any other social group, employment, racial, religion, anything like that. Guess what? Humans are bad. Mm-hmm. You're gonna have bad apples. Doesn't matter your race, your creed, your economic status, your religion, where your country of origin, anything of that nature, you're going to have bad people. Mm-hmm. This is literally one of those very few segments where you cannot afford to have a single bad apple.
True.
And everything must be done to weed them out because it corrupts the fabric of trust in the system and what the system is predicated on. It's literally to serve and protect. And liberty and justice for all, which is a fallacy and which cannot happen when we have this many bad apples. Now, people will say, well, it's only a few bad apples. Doesn't matter. There can be none. And the problem more so is the acceptance of the few bad ones. You said like a fraternity. So the vigor that's used to police society, if we had 1/10 of that energy used to the officers to police themselves, this entire country would be tremendously better off.
I'm not disputing any of that. It's we're just as a collective, we're generally not good at policing ourselves. Period. And it's and to your point, there could be it's needed more in the police situation, but it's all like John Oliver this weekend. He was talking about old age homes. And I know there's a senior living facilities, or however you want to phrase it, right? And there are many of them that are rated like amazing, 5 stars or whatever. And the government only looks at one aspect of the rating, and I think it's related to I want to say it's something related to like a version of the healthcare aspect, like one of those questions. The rest are all self-reported. So your staffing levels, your staffing skills, the response, all self-reported, which nobody checks. So you can be garbage in the government's eyes, for example, like whoever's looking over this, and then all of a sudden, boom, you're 5-star. You know what I'm saying? My point being, when you're self-reporting, it's really, really, because also that too, you have, and that's society, right? If you're in high school and you are part of the whatever clique you belong to, and somebody does something bad, or somebody does something that you don't feel is right, do you want to risk your place in that situation? Like, nobility is a very, very difficult thing for people. Yeah.
Well, here we're often told we don't have enough solutions of our own. Mm-hmm. So here's a common one. I wouldn't say it's our own, but let's put it out there. Is, you see certain states moving towards removing qualified immunity, which means that officers themselves cannot be sued. For example, I couldn't sue the officers that beat me up. I had to sue the police department and I sued the chief as well, the captain. Removing qualified immunity and having to pay. The problem is this: the money I got from suing, regular ordinary people paid that, or their taxes. They paid that. So we're penalizing people for nothing they did. So make this money come out of their pensions. Make them lose their pensions, things of that nature. I guarantee you shit will change.
No, I'll give you that.
Now, unfortunately,
penalties matter,
Unfortunately, you may have some frivolous lawsuits, but that's America's problem.
Hold up, but we're the most litigious. How much frivolous lawsuits do we already have?
Yeah, we're the most litigious country in the world. So that's the problem in itself. Other countries, when you lose a lawsuit, I think England too.
Yeah, you pay the fees of the other party
and their solicitor.
Yes. No, I'll give you that. Like, I think so in that situation, if you were to hold people accountable for their actions, which is a crazy, crazy thought process, holding somebody accountable for their actions, you would see less action.
Yeah.
I mean, if anything, if you're like if it's all that, if you can go down, well, it's also funny too. But you watch like in every movie or whatever, right? Like people are like any movie about cops, etc. The internal affairs group is always dubbed the enemy.
The enemy.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I mean, this is what society is. The people who are part of IA, it's like, oh, this guy. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody. So we've always demonized going after cops. Period. It's just the way we watch anything. Nobody loves IA. Period. And that refers to anything, whether you are internal affairs there, whether you're internal audit, which I was an auditor. So anybody who's checks and balances, nobody loves that person, right? So nobody wants to be that person.
Yeah.
Right. I was also a horrible auditor. So on that part too, nobody wanted me to be their auditor either. But my point being is you're not that, like, nobody's going, you know what? I'm going to stand up for society. This is the job for me.
True.
They should. I'm with you. They should.
They should. As a you know, and the few times it's happened, I know that I believe there was 5 black officers in New York years ago who claimed they were fired because they were standing up and doing things. Yeah, if you're not policing internally, then you're just a hypocrite. If your whole goal is to be a police officer, is to serve and protect and to do what's right and help society. Because if you're not policing, and that's just the biggest BS there. On a lighter note, to finish this off. This is an Amit episode, a.k.a. a short episode.
That's not even the right sound, man. Use a good sound at least if you're going to do that. That's what you meant. Friggin' ridiculous.
Kaboom.
I should end it on the kaboom. That was perfect.
I walked into the studio here and Amit said he's translating something for a California court transcription of a Jamaican guy.
It is
amazing. The judge and the attorneys, no one could understand. I wish we could play it.
Rightfully
it's the rawest.
I mean, it's Jamaican to another level, yo. Like, I mean,
when the judge, so Amit transcribed, yes,
yeah.
Transcribed it,
translated and transcribed, yeah. But yes.
And he asked me to review it, and I look at it.
I mean,
I was crying laughing because someone is going to have to read this out loud to the judge, and then the stenographer is going to have to type it back in.
I'm going to find out from my lawyer friend when I can share this because it is amazing. Like the sound is friggin' amazing. And just hearing the sound, no joke. I had to replay it with so did Dominic so many times. I was like, what did this guy say?
I want to contact him and mint it.
Richard, this guy was...
turn it to NFT.
Richard, it was so good. We'll play that for you at some point. So once I get legal clearance, I'll play that for you. Because the case is still going on, so I can't. But it was amazing. And I'd never had to do anything like that before. It turns out it's not that easy to translate that stuff. No. Because there's a lot of words that have no translation.
A lot of words there's no translation.
And I was like, how do you say this in English? And Dominic's just laughing because I'm writing in like what I assume is the best way to put things. But man, it's aggressive. Yeah. Right? I mean, it was, and this dude was not happy with this young lady in this scenario. No. But we'll share with you some other time. That's it for today. Or maybe not.
Should be more videos on YouTube. That's on me. I did my initial part.
By more, he means any. Do we have any?
We have one.
Oh, we do.
But I think you did there's 5 that needs to go up. Amit did his part, and I've yet to finalize with my part. So hopefully by the time you hear this, we'll have, we keep claiming you will. So now I'm going to say hopefully. So go check out those old videos, see how we do things in the various studio locations.
Yes.
Keep spreading the word, please.
Yes.
We want to get more traction, more people to hear us. And we actually reached out to a show, haven't heard back. That's kind of opposite now. I told you.
Oh.
2 conservatives reached out to a show to either have them on or we guest on theirs, which we'd share with you guys. Because, we don't always need to speak with people we agree with. So send us your comments. If there's anything you disagree with, let us know. If there's anything you want us to talk about that we haven't addressed ever, or something we talked about you want us to address some more, let us know.
And that is it for today. Much love, everybody.
Cool. Justice over order. Be better.